Hi Team S&G, welcome to this first video of March 2015. Things are rolling right along. Can you believe we're into the third month already? The exciting thing about March, it unofficially now, marks the beginning of the busy season. So basically going from here all the way through November to basically right Thanksgiving time, we keep ramping up, doing more and more and more and more in business, and then we kind of hit the crescendo, if you will, in October, and then November up till Thanksgiving, and then usually after Thanksgiving we kind of start to go back down the other way, and it's a little bit slower, obviously, as you know, during December, January, and February. But we're in March, the sun's out, the birds are singing, it's that spring fever, people are shopping more, they're excited about getting their houses redone, fixed up, modernized, looking pretty, looking great, changing things out this time of the year. So awesome times ahead. Be ready and be able to handle the volume, the amount of customers. So, hey, before we get into the new stuff, little review. A couple weeks ago, we started talking about what we used to call the estimates. We now are calling it in-home consultations. I did a training with that with the managers way back in the beginning of February. I know they did trainings with you all out there. I sent out a mass email, if you will, about the benefits of our in-home consultations and a little bit of the science or how we came up with arriving, how important this is. So just a real quick review. Again, the science of why in-home consultations are so important, okay? And that should be your #1 goal every time you help a new customer. First off, most of the material that we sell is installed by S&G. You can't sell a job unless we measure it, okay? Simple, straightforward. #2, that when a customer invites you into their home, it's kind of like a psychological commitment, okay? They've gone from being a shopper into a real buyer. So the sooner you can make that happen in the process, the more excited they become as a consumer, the sooner they want it done as a consumer. It's kind of wild, you know, they're replacing a 10 or 15-year-old carpeting, but now that they've decided that they've come out, we bid it, and they want to get it done, boy, they want to have it happen like in a couple days, you know. Doesn't always make sense, but it's the way it is, okay? So by us getting into their home, giving them that complimentary in-home consultation, you're going to find that they're more apt to be talking budget, strategies, how soon they can get it done, and you really narrow in and makes for an easier and a faster sale for you. What else? That we sell 60% of all in-home consultations that we do. So simple math. If you only set up 10 in-home consultations a month, you're going to sell 6 jobs. You set up 20, you're going to sell 12 jobs. You set up 30, and you're going to sell somewhere around 18 jobs. The more in-home consultations you set up, the bigger your numbers are going to be. Okay? We actually have a superior team of in-home sales consultants than most people. It's a great way, a great foot forward for us by getting in their home, okay? And now remember, we want the in-home consultations to be somewhat qualified. And what do I say when I mean a qualified in-home consultation? That means that you have put these 3 or 4 things into FloorMaster, okay? That way when the in-home sales consultant arrives at the home, they have this information available to them right there in FloorMaster. The first thing is, it's got to be a product selection. What are we bidding on? Second thing is, the approximate square footage that you calculated for the consumer when they were in the store. The third thing is basically the kind of dollars that you told them it was going to cost to do the project or their renovation or whatever. Okay? Very few people, when we talk about getting the budget or qualifying for the budget, very few people are going to say, hey, Jim, I have $5,000 to spend. Show me what I can get. That's not the way it goes. You have to be a little bit like an Inspector Clouseau, if you will, or Sherlock Holmes, and do your investigation, the qualifying process. Find out which rooms, approximately how big they are. Once you get an idea wrapped around your head or a notion of how many square feet, then you can show them a product and you can shoot them a price. You know, I'm guesstimating that you're going to have 700 square feet to do the 3 bedrooms, the hallway, and the family room. You said your house is approximately, 1,200 square feet. I'm guessing you're not doing all of it in carpeting. Obviously, 20% less for hard surface is a normal number that we use. And you're not doing one of the dining room or whatever. So I'm guessing 700 square feet. You're going to spend this carpet plus pad installation is another $3 a foot. Therefore, the total bid is going to be somewhere around $2,100, $2,200, Mrs. Jones. Is that kind of what you had in mind to spend? Great way. It's non-offensive. It's non-intrusive. And you've let them know the amount of money it's going to take to put that product in their home. If the in-home sales consultant has that information before he starts to measure, there's a great chance that he's going to bring back a check. Okay? So that's what I mean when I say an in-home, a qualified in-home consultation. Okay? Now, the features of the in-home consultation, really quick. You probably know these by heart. One, all our people out there do a property assessment to ensure that we're getting the right product and that's going to perform for them. We use a laser computer and measuring system. Okay, it's all printed out. Obviously, you're familiar with that. We present an itemized bid. Why? Because we want to be held accountable. All the costs, everything we're doing is spelled out, simple for them. We stick to the bid. This is a big one. When we give a price, we stick to it. If we missed a floor prep, we shorted on the material or whatever like that, it's on us. We pay for it. Big thing. We set up specific times. You're not there saying, hey, we'll be there between noon and 5. Obviously, you're familiar with that. All our in-home sales consultants are in uniform, driving the S&G van, so they can feel comfortable. A female knows who's coming into her house. Okay. All our in-home sales consultants are HIS certified by the state of California, meaning that they carry the home improvement sales background checked, if you will. Okay. And then plus the other thing is all our in-home consultations are complimentary. So that was just a real quick review. Hopefully you've done training. Hope you've done some role playing and practicing. Okay. Now I got to share this almost miraculous story with you about the in-home sales consultation, and this was almost unbelievable. It reminds me of that picture. Have you seen the picture with the dresses? That one dress, when some people look at it, it's black and blue. Other people look at it and it's white and gold. It's almost as amazing, the story I'm going to tell you, is what that is. And this is the story. At the managers meeting, we talked about changing from the words estimate to in-home sales consultation. In Almaden, the store manager, Joan, went back, worked with her sales staff, made a big point of doing it. They set up, okay, to have measured, they scheduled 15 in-home consultations that they did on February 16th. Okay, 15 in-home sales consultations in one day. Awesome, right? Unbelievable, hard to believe. What's crazier is that 9 of them sold on the same day. Why? Because the customer was prepped. The in-home sales consultant had every opportunity to close because they knew the product, the price, the square footage. Okay, they sold 9 on-site or during the same day. 5 more sold by the end of February. Okay, so they sold 15 of the 16 that they did during the same month, and actually they sold 14 out of 15, 14 out of 15 during the month. The 15th one they just closed here this week on March 2nd. So, February 16th, the Almaden store scheduled 15 in-home consultations, and within 3 weeks later, they had sold all 15 that were measured that day. Awesome. Way to go, Almaden team. I'm imploring the rest of you to get behind the in-home sales, the in-home consultations. Set up as many as you can. Each store's got to do, if you're a small store or a smaller store, a Cupertino, whatever, you got to be doing 100 of them. Santa Clara, probably 110, 120. If you're Elk Grove, you should be doing 110, 120. If you're Pleasanton, we're looking for that 130, 140. If you're one of the bigger stores, Almaden, a Rancho, or Rockland, we're looking for you to do 200 of them a month. So in-home sales, in-home consultations are great, great, great. Okay, now, with saying that, when you're a flooring consultant with S&G, you go through the monthly sit-downs. Basically, there's 3 things you always get spoken to about. 1 is your written sales from the previous month. Number 2 is the in-home consultations, how many you scheduled. And number 3 is your closure rate. And that is the importance of all three of them in that order. Most important thing is your written sales. Okay. Second most important thing is how many in-home consultations you're scheduling, and then the closure rate. Okay. If you have a soft month with the written sales, but me as a store manager can look at your numbers and say, oh, you know what? You set up 32 in-home consultations this month. Great job. You sold 66%, which is somewhere like 22 or 23 of them. Great job. Unfortunately, they were all smaller jobs. So you only wrote $42,000. I would look at that and I would say, you know what? You were a little bit unlucky that the jobs are smaller, but keep doing what you're doing. Scheduling the in-home consultations, sell at a high percentage, and the numbers will come. Okay? That's why we judge it on 3 different criteria. It's not strictly just the total written volume, because there is a little bit different size jobs and things like that. So kind of just, I wanted to throw that out there just so you're all aware. Okay? But the most important thing you can do, high sales followed by the amount of in-home consultations. If you don't schedule the in-home consultations, you're not going to write the numbers. Okay? And if you don't close at a good rate on them, you're not going to write the numbers. So they all kind of like play into each other. The value of small jobs, moving on. I wanted to talk about that really quick. Obviously, some people don't want to come in and do the whole house at one time. It's too overwhelming, it's too expensive for whatever reason, things like that. Well, if you have bought in cars, I'm assuming most people have a car, and you're familiar with buying new tires, not everybody goes and buys 4 brand new tires at the same time. A lot of people go and buy 1 tire. Some people go and buy 2 tires, and then 2 or 3 or 4 months later, they go and replace the other 2. It kind of depends, but what usually happens, if they get good service and they're taken care of, then they come back to the same place to buy the others. We're kind of the same way. Maybe today we're only doing the bedroom. Maybe we're only doing the hallway and the bedroom. But later on, the whole house is going to show wear, and the whole house will need to be recarpeted, a new floor covering everywhere. So don't lose hope. Don't kick away the small jobs. The small jobs lead to customers coming back, okay, to you, and you getting future jobs. Okay, so think about that for a little bit and go from there. Running out of time. Got to recognize the top performers for February. So February is a real nice month for the company. So congratulations to everybody. I know a number of the stores swept the team bonus. Some just missed from sweeping by a little bit. Then we had a couple that quite didn't get there, but I'm expecting them to come back with a banner month this month and get on the board. So, but anyways, the top performers from each store are Almaden, Miss Gabriella led the way with sales over 93,000. In Cupertino, Angela had a big month, 68,000 plus. Elk Grove was James, 89,000, which is one of the bigger numbers out of the Elk Grove store for a while, I believe. Pleasanton, Bill Sprigassi, 83,000. Good job, Billy. Rancho Cordova, Luke led the way at sales over 71,000. Santa Clara was our man John. Johnny had sales over 90,000. And then in Rockland, Miss Lisa, she's actually my wife. She's not Mrs. Lisa, she's Mrs. Jim. But anyways, hey, Lisa led the whole company with sales over 106,000. So way to go, you top performers. Now remember, we are in the first quarter, so there is a flooring consultant quarterly bonus. So if you write over $235, you get $200. Over $250, you get $400. Over $282,000 during the first quarter, you get $600. So real quick. Almaden, Gabriella, 178,000. Angela and Cupertino, 146,000. Elk Grove, James, 138,000. Bill in Pleasanton, 137. Rancho, Sherry, 138,000. Rockland, we have Lisa, 161. Stephanie, 141. Scott, 137. Shannon, 143. And then John in Santa Clara with 166,000. All that list of whatever that is, 10 people, you're all well on your way for hitting part of the quarterly bonus. So run hard. If it didn't mention you, doesn't mean you're out of it. You're just going to have a little bit bigger March to cash in. So with that being said, I'm out of time. Real quick, last thing. If during the month of March you set up a Yelp review or someone reviews us and mentions you by name on Yelp or the customer lobby page, you get 20 bucks cash. So ask them. You call back on the follow-up. They're happy with you. Then say, hey, would you be so kind as to go on our customer lobby page on our website or post a positive Yelp review? mention me so I can get future business. Guys, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you around the stores. Bye-bye.